It is March the 16th, 2019, and this is the Ada Model Show in Holland. This video has been made possible by the support of patrons of Cranes etc, so thanks very much for their support. And it's also been made possible by my alarm clock, which woke me up at 2 o'clock this morning in order to be able to get here. So if I look tired and make mistakes, sit back, laugh out loud and point at the screen. All of the model dealers are out in force, and yes, I want one too. There's lots of 1:87 scale models at the show, and these Sowens and Ainscough models look particularly good. Here's another 1:87 scale model in mammut colours, and it's a giant leap hair crawler, and it's outstandingly detailed. Inside the boom you can see all of the tiny hydraulic hoses. And the model is also configured with a power boom setup. If it's logs that you like, there's logs and logs of logs here. The show is the place where there are many self-build type models, and these ones were on show, and as you can see they're in a large scale. And this one looks particularly nice. Hey, this particular guy looks just like me. There's lots of interesting old stuff on display as well. And on some tables there were whole fleets on display. Of course, there is an art to weathering models, and these ones have all been done by airbrushing. And here we have the makings of a marble mine. There are some other types of modelling here, but all based around the same general subject matter. And in this next section we're looking at models made of Meccano, and a similar construction toy was known as Erector in the US. This big paddle steamer is detailed inside. Meccano is also particularly good to use for making cranes. There were a few different types of crane models to be seen, but what was good to see was perhaps the most famous of Meccano models, and that's the giant block setting crane. Another modelling method is Lego, and just take a look at this giant crawler crane made out of Lego. This is a hugely impressive Lego model, and the only non-Lego parts are some lead in the counterweight, and one or two of the highest loaded parts have some metal strengthening. Here's a great selection of demolition models. Some of the model engineering is of the highest quality, and you can see that on this old-timer Liebherr crane. It really is exceptional when you look at the thinness of the lattice work on the jib. Here is some more high quality modelling on a big mining machine. There were some rare and unusual pieces too, like this shell and auger site investigation rig, and there were other types of drilling rig too. There were customisations too, and this NZG Unimog did start out as a fire truck. Here we have a very large area running radio controlled vehicles. And yes, some of the models you just want to put in your bag when nobody's looking.
Ja, 670 hè?
Here we have some more very high quality crane models.
Die liep hier net ook nog. Ja, dat is een duurdere stukje. Ik vind ook wel. Ja, nou, die hadden we samen. Hè? Ja. We hebben toch nog 2,5 jaar die kraan gehad. Dus, en op zich ook nog leuk. Wat denk je van zo? Een mammoet.
Someone's also put remote control into NZG's 1-87 Lee Pair harbour crane. Then you get some of the very big stuff. And this is a fantastic model of a telescopic crane, and it's got pretty much everything. Even the screen in the cab is working. There's also a full luffing flyjib assembly, and you can also see that a support truck has been modelled as well. Actually, I couldn't resist and I did try to steal this crane away, but I found it weighed 60 kilograms, so I only ended up putting my back out. Back onto the super big and take a look at this truck. And it looks nice and comfy inside too. IMC Models had a stand where they were showing off some of the new stuff, and this is the DMAG AC45. And later in the year comes this Hydrema machine. The LTM 1450 was there in 1:87 scale. And sticking with 1:87 was this early sample of the Terex tower crane. The Mammoet store also had a couple of new models for sale on their stand. And here's a nice mini diorama with a rally truck. Back into the super large category, and we have this giant Liebherr 11200 crawler crane. Marja Models also had a presence at the show, and they had the new truck trailers all on display. Something new and interesting is that later this year they will bring out their 1-32 tractors in a kit form so you can build them yourself. Elsewhere in the show, someone had made these high quality foundation machines. And back to the big stuff with this tractor and trailer. Another big truck crane model was this one in Van Symeren colours. And not to be outdone, there were big models in Saren's colours as well. So after getting up at 2 AM, I was beginning to get tired at the end of the show. I was getting very tired. Two new Bauer foundation machine models by Bimo were also on display. This is the BG50. And there was also the new BG30 model. Also on display were these interesting models of crashed and burnt out vehicles. And at the end of the show, that's how I felt, crashed and burnt out. But this model show in Holland was certainly well worth a visit.